Before we dive in, this video breaks down the entire first book of Red Rising. Full spoilers ahead. If you haven't read it yet and want to go in blind, hit pause and come back once your worldview has been thoroughly shattered. Because Red Rising isn't just a story about rebellion. It's about identity, about rage, about becoming the very thing you were meant to destroy. Consider this your final warning. Don't come for me in the comments. In the next few minutes, we'll unpack Pierce Brown's solar system-sized dystopia, the society, the castes, the transformation of Darrow from broken miner to forged myth. Now, let's begin in the dark. This story begins with a boy who believed in duty, in sacrifice, in a world that told him his labor had meaning. He was 16, a helldiver, a red, and everything he thought he knew was a lie. Red Rising drops us into a future where humanity spans the solar system, but freedom hasn't followed. Power is divided by color, a caste system of genetically designed roles, from rulers to janitors, lovers to killers. Darrow isn't just fighting the system. He's waking up to the fact that it was engineered to keep him small. He was born into the mines of Mars, deep beneath the surface, in the colony of Lycos. There, Reds like him believe they're terraforming the planet for future settlement. They risk their lives to harvest helium-3. But the truth, Mars has already been colonized. The society spans every planet and moon, built not as a utopia, but as a machine, color-coded, brutally enforced, and terrifyingly efficient. Here's how it breaks down. Golds at the top. Tall, brilliant, engineered for dominance. They rule the society. Silvers. They handle economics and finance. Cold, calculated, and corporate. Coppers. Administrators, lawyers, and bureaucrats. Whites. Judges, priests, and legal scholars. Enforcers of spiritual doctrine and the society's laws. Blues. Bridge crew and pilots. Raised for logic, trained for spaceflight, and built to navigate the stars. Yellows, doctors and researchers. Cold, clinical minds behind the society's medicine and bioengineering. Greens, programmers and technicians. Masters of code and circuitry. Precision and logic, hardwired. Violets, artisans and creatives. Designers, performers, architects, creators of beauty, illusion, and mood. Oranges, mechanics and engineers, the grease-stained geniuses who build and fix everything. Grays, regular soldiers and police, brutal enforcers of order, discipline, and everyday control. Browns, servants, cooks, and janitors. The invisible hands behind the scenes, polite, obedient, overlooked. Obsidians, elite soldiers and bodyguards, towering, terrifying warriors once kept ignorant by myth. Pinks, courtesans and companions, trained in intimacy and pleasure, shaped for emotional manipulation. Reds, the bottom. High reds work above ground. Low reds, like Darrow, toil in the dark. Each color is born, bred, and shaped for their role. It's genetic, it's cultural, and it's enforced with fear. This isn't a broken system. It's an intentional one. Darrow of Lycos is a brilliant helldiver, the best there is. Every day he pilots a claw drill beneath the Martian crust, risking his life to collect helium-3, a resource so valuable It could earn his family extra rations, recognition, maybe even a laurel if his mine outperformed the others. He has pale skin, red eyes, and dull red hair. His body bears the mark of generations bred for obedience. His people survive on rations and recycled air, and their hope? It's manufactured by the Golds. Darrow isn't a revolutionary. Not yet. But his wife, Io, sees the lie. She dares to dream beyond it. And her rebellion isn't violent. It's a song. One she sings publicly, knowing it will cost her everything. She is hanged. Right in front of Darrow. No, literally. Because of the lower Martian gravity, Darrow is forced to aid in her hanging. He has to pull down on her legs, crack her neck, ensure it ends quickly. It's what always happened during hangings in Lycos. And Darrow's world shatters. When he tries to follow her into death, he's intercepted by the Sons of Ares, a rebel faction with a mission beyond vengeance. They don't just want Darrow angry, they want him transformed. Of course, as an audience watching this unfold, it feels uncomfortably close to exploitation. Desperate adults kidnapping a teenager and using his rage and agony for their cause, especially after they show him the truth. The world above Mars, the sky itself. They don't just reshape Darrow's body, they reforge his entire worldview. Through a brutal process called carving, Darrow's body is rebuilt. Bones lengthened, muscles thickened, eyes changed, skin reshaped. When it's done, he no longer looks like a red. He looks like a god. But inside, he's still Darrow, still grieving, still burning. His mission? Infiltrate the Golds, rise through their ranks, and tear the society down from the inside. Step 1. Survive the proving ground where golds are forged. The Institute. The Institute is not a school, it's a crucible. Here, the children of the most powerful gold families are stripped of luxury and comfort and thrown into something raw, violent, medieval. Before the games begin, each student is publicly sorted into one of 12 houses, each named after a Roman god, each reflecting a trait the Golds revere. Mars, the house of war and conquest, known for strength, brutality, and the iron will to dominate. Minerva, the house of wisdom and strategy, thinkers, tacticians, and quiet rulers behind the board. Pluto, the house of secrecy and manipulation. Shadows and whispers are their weapons of choice. Apollo, the house of honor and martial skill. Duels, discipline, and a code that cannot be broken. Vulcan, the house of technology and engineering, builders of weapons, fortresses, and war machines. Bacchus, the house of pleasure and cunning. Indulgence hides razor-sharp instincts and charm that kills. Jupiter, the house of dominance and pride, commanders by birthright, brimming with arrogance and ambition. Ceres, the house of nurture and sustenance, overlooked but essential, the steady hand that feeds the strong. Diana, the house of agility and survival, swift, silent, and savage when cornered. Mercury, the house of speed and wit, messengers, schemers, and those who strike before you're ready. Neptune, the house of naval strength and deep command, calm on the surface with storms beneath. Venus, the house of beauty and diplomacy, poise, grace, and the art of disarming through charm. Darrow is sorted into House Mars, and that very night, While the new initiates sleep in their beds, the true test begins. They are abducted, stripped, dropped into cold, sterile cells, 2 students per room. Then the command, only one walks out. This is the passage. A ritual designed to weed out the weak, the compassionate, the uncertain. Darrow survives, but only by killing Julian Obellona, a kind, innocent boy, someone who didn't want to fight, someone with a family name that will come back to haunt Darrow later. Julian's brother, Cassius, Darrow's future ally. And so, even before the games begin, a blade is already buried, just waiting to be twisted. After the passage, the survivors are dropped into a massive ancient valley where each house occupies a fortress. The objective is simple: conquer the valley, subjugate the other houses, become Primus. There are no rules, no supplies, no help, not even from the proctors. Not really, unless it serves the Empire. And slowly, it becomes clear. The game and the rules themselves are rigged, twisted. Not even the proctors, the so-called guardians of honor, follow their own codes. The gods are watching, but not to protect, only to manipulate. This is where we truly get to meet the key players. Cassius Obellona, also of House Mars. Noble, proud, brilliant with a blade. His friendship with Darrow becomes a slow-burning tragedy. Severo, a feral tactical genius, loyal to Darrow, called Goblin by his peers for his size and savagery. Mustang, Virginia O. Augustus of House Minerva, sharp, strategic, and far more than she first appears. Titus, another red, secretly carved like Darrow, but ruled by rage. A chilling vision of what Darrow might become if he loses control. Pax Au Telemanus, a massive, kind-hearted warrior from House Minerva, fierce in battle, gentle at heart. The Jackal, Adrius O. Augustus, cold, cunning, and calculating. More on him later. Darrow starts with nothing, but he adapts. He learns the rules and how to break them. He uses strategy, psychology, and sheer force of will to turn House Mars into a dominant power. And slowly, step by step, Darrow becomes what the society reveres: a tactician, a conqueror, a gold. With the help of Cassius and Severo, he maneuvers House Mars through battles and betrayals alike, climbing ever higher in a system built to keep him low. Gold's respect, a leader. But the cost, it's steep. Word spreads beyond the Institute. Outside forces, watching through hidden cameras, whisper networks, and legacy alliances begin to interfere. And one of them drops a bombshell. Julian's killer wasn't just anyone. It was Darrow. Cassius finds out. The fallout is immediate and brutal. Cassius, betrayed and grieving, challenges Darrow to a duel. It's not a symbolic slap in the face. It's a matter of blood, honor, family, and it nearly kills Darrow. He's saved only because Mustang intervenes. She rescues him, hides him, nurses him back to strength. And through that act, she becomes more than just an ally. She sees Darrow, not just the myth he's pretending to be, but the man underneath. The anger, the guilt, the purpose. Together they lead House Mars in the final push for dominance. Their strategy sharpens, their alliance strengthens, and they rise. But Darrow doesn't know everything. Mustang is more than just a brilliant tactician. She's the daughter of Nero O. Augustus, one of the most powerful men in the society, the man directly responsible for the death of Io. And more importantly, She's the twin sister of the jackal. Yes, the same jackal Darrow watched scheme and manipulate from the shadows. And still, she chooses to stand by him. When the dust finally settles and the Institute declares its victors, Darrow is one of them. He's not just a survivor. He's a symbol, a gold among golds, and the society takes notice. He's invited to meet the real rulers of the solar system, and the game has only just begun. At the start of Red Rising, Darrow is a hollow shell of a boy. He doesn't understand the scale of the world beyond his mind. He doesn't know what the society has taken from him. He doesn't even understand his own wife until it's too late. Io chose death because it was the only choice she had left. In a world that gave her no control, she seized the one moment of agency that would echo through the rebellion. She became a martyr, Persephone, the goddess of spring and the underworld. Her sacrifice wasn't just personal, it was mythic. Darrow was too young, too angry, too broken to see it at the time. But he follows her flame. He becomes what he hates. A gold, not for power, but for vengeance, for justice, for her. At least, that's what he tells himself. But as the story unfolds, the angry red begins to fade. He kills, he lies, he manipulates. He becomes the thing he was supposed to destroy. He lets Cassius believe another red killed Julian, letting a fellow rebel, Titus, die for a lie. He watches another boy, one like him, be beaten and executed for the crime Darrow committed. He stands by while Mustang and Cassius wage war for a house he intends to betray. All because he believes the cause is greater than any individual. He takes on the mantle they give him, the Reaper, a myth wrapped in war paint, forged in fire, and sharpened by loss. And yet, that's the thrill of Red Rising. Yes, the battles are grand. Yes, the twists are jaw-dropping. But at the heart of it all is Darrow, a boy who realizes he was never less than a gold. He was just lied to, shackled, controlled. This is not a story of pure rebellion. It's a story of transformation, of rage, of identity. By the end of Book 1, Darrow isn't a red anymore, but he isn't truly a gold either. He's something new, something dangerous. And if Red Rising is the story of how Darrow learns to wear the mask, then the real question is, how long until it breaks? Thanks so much for watching. Drop a comment below and tell me which book you want explained next. I'll see you in the next one. Until then, happy reading, or, happy watching.